Please subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Part 1. The $100,000 gift and the sting of failure. My parents handed my sister $100,000 to buy a house. They branded me with a single word: failure. I stopped reaching out. 2 years of deliberate, unbroken silence followed. Yesterday, my sister drove by fields of lavender and a tin-roofed home. She called Dad, voice full of awe. Moments later, he called me. "Is that your place?" "Yes, it is. Purchased with effort you called worthless. Built without your support or approval." His tone softened, feigning care. "Can we talk like grown-ups? We are grown-ups. Grown-ups set limits. Grown-ups lock gates." I hung up and gazed at the quiet field. The bees kept buzzing. I kept moving forward. If you felt this kind of imbalance, share your experience. They poured into her future, so I poured into my own. My sister, Veronica. Part 2. Childhood Scorecards and Silent Pneumonia. Veronica earned honor roll every year. Dad recorded her award ceremonies with pride. I brought home B's and a lone A-. He asked what went wrong. Veronica shone on the varsity volleyball court. Dad never missed a match. I joined art club. Mom forgot to drive me home. Mrs. Chun, kind and steady, gave me rides, her car's warmth thawing my hands. Our 16th birthdays laid bare the disparity. Veronica got a gleaming, detailed car. I got an Applebee's dinner and a $50 gift card. "Be thankful," Mom said, smiling for pictures. Veronica's UCLA tuition was fully covered, celebrated with a church send-off. I got into a state school and asked for tuition help. Dad sliced pot roast like a verdict. "We're not paying for that." Mom, gentle but firm, said state schools were for less serious students. "It's still college," I murmured. He didn't look at me. I signed loan papers alone. 6.8% interest on every dollar. 2 jobs, library shelves and diner shifts, kept me afloat. Winter gripped my lungs with pneumonia, flattening me on linoleum. Urgent care's fluorescent hum judged me. Shivering, I called home. Dad suggested better time management. Mom asked about vitamins. Mrs. Chun, Jennifer's mom, showed up with soup and a $500 check. "You're not alone," she said. "This is for your future. Rest. Work and wait." I sobbed until the soup went cold. Someone cared. Therapy came that winter. Dr. Walsh traced my family's patterns, naming protective expectations. "Plan for their absence," she said. "Avoid the hurt." I formed a new habit. Surround yourself with people who show up. At graduation, they didn't come. Others filled the chairs. I stopped seeking their approval to exist. I started noting who was truly present. Neglect shaped me, but boundaries preserved me. Part 3. The dinner blow-up and choosing no contact. Tuesday's dinner carried the scent of pot roast. I'd driven 4 hours to be there. Veronica, radiant on a video call, announced, "We found a house in Marin." Dad's face softened. "How much do you need, sweetheart?" $100,000 seals it, she said, beaming. Mom and Dad exchanged a glance, decision made wordlessly. "It's done," Dad said. "We'll send it tomorrow." My fork hit the plate with a clink. "You're giving her $100,000. We're investing in her future," Mom said, smoothing an imaginary crease. "What about my education?" I asked. "You refused to invest." Dad's voice was cold. "You chose a state school." "Unserious," Mom added almost brightly. "It's still college," I said, my voice shrinking to 14. Dad's face turned to stone. "You're the family failure, Camila." The room spun. No one contradicted him. Veronica's image flickered, unmoved. I stood quietly. "I'm done with this dinner." "Sit down," Mom snapped. "We're not finished." "I am," I said, and left without my coat. The night air stung, sharp and clear. I didn't return. Driving home, tears fell, then resolve hardened. By morning, I changed my number. Silence became my shield. No contact wasn't a game, it was self-care. Holidays tested my resolve. Guilt knocked hard. Thanksgiving was Thai takeout and movies, breathing easy. Christmas brought 17 voicemails begging, "Come home." I saved 2 for proof, their concern a mask for control. I logged each message calmly, transcribing the cruelest lines, Exactly. Paper preserved what memory twists. I slept easier after. Then I visited the Chens. They set a place for me. Jennifer's brother taught me a card game. Her grandmother shared immigration tales. Mrs. Chen packed leftovers, saying, "Your family here." Therapy resumed in January. Dr. Walsh handed me worksheets. "Your parents' voices live in your head. Let's remove them kindly." We labeled their words as opinions, not facts, replacing them with evidence. Dates, achievements, deposits. For every criticism, I wrote 3 truths. It felt stiff, then freeing. We practiced boundary scripts. "No is enough," Dr. Walsh said. I said it once, twice, 3 times. I built a circle of reliable people, ones who showed up. I stopped fighting ghosts and answered emails instead. Mom tested every boundary, her text shifting from sweet to sharp. I saved them in a folder, proof over nostalgia. Weeks passed without calling back. Breathing found a new rhythm. Silence stung, then soothed. They called me failure, so I revoked their access. Part 4, Lavender Fields and a Self-Built Triumph. Work became my sanctuary, then my springboard. Freelancing came first, any gig that paid promptly. I rebuilt my portfolio at midnight, letting case studies speak, not excuses. Clients stayed as I raised rates. I stopped fearing silence. A tech firm noticed my reliability. An offer arrived on a Tuesday. Senior designer, solid salary, benefits, equity. I signed before doubt crept in. My boss, Sharon, valued solutions. "Show your process," she said. I learned to present without cowering, to defend with calm. Imposter syndrome faded with evidence. Deadlines met, research notes, results. A year later, a promotion to lead designer brought bigger scope, better leverage. 18 months after, I joined a startup with real equity. 14 months later, an acquisition turned options into cash, then opportunity. I didn't chase luxury. I bought land and sky. 40 acres in Sonoma County, a weary farmhouse, and outbuildings. The inspection read like a poem of flaws. I saw steps, not chaos. Contractors fixed the frame, well, and septic. I tackled the rest at my pace. Weekends smelled of sawdust and paint. My playlist knew every wall. I sanded floors on my knees, with grain rising with care. Trim got second coats after dark, teaching steady patience. Irrigation failed twice before I learned. PVC hums when sealed right. Tom, a neighbor, taught beekeeping, calm hands, slow breaths, steady frames. The bees taught me calmer breathing, rewarding deliberate care. 3 hives grew to 6 by summer. Honey carried lavender's scent. Goats arrived, clearing brambles with comic flair. Lavender fields began small, 5 acres, then 10. I studied extension guides late. Soil pH, spacing, harvest timing. The first yield covered property taxes. The next paid insurance. I hired Emma and Tyler, 2 high schoolers with fair pay and real training. We packed orders in the barn, laughter blending with dried lavender. Emma shared college dreams. I adjusted her hours to help her save. "Your shift's here," I said. Purpose replaced chasing approval. Community filled empty holidays. A spring appraisal came, $2.3 million, conservative. I set the paper down carefully, then changed filters. Growth was checks cashed, hand scented with lavender, not applause. I slept without expecting judgment. I woke without seeking permission. The farmhouse felt whole. The fields hummed proof. I planted lavender and outgrew their story. Veronica went wine tasting, part 5. The drive-by, the $100,000 check, and the locked gate. Veronica, wine tasting in Sonoma, took a wrong turn down my road. She paused by the lavender fields, spotting my truck by the farmhouse, now settled. She snapped a photo, stunned. An hour later, Dad called, voice thin with shock. "Is that your place, Camila?" "Yes," I said evenly. 40 acres, a restored farmhouse, working fields. "I checked the appraisal," he said. "It's $2.3 million. "It is," I replied. Silence pressed like old wounds. Then came the pitch, cloaked in kindness. "We can help you grow, contacts, capital, guidance." I recalled therapy scripts. No, I said simply. I don't want your help. Mom snatched the phone, voice sharp. Don't be immature. We're family. You called me failure, I said. Remember that Tuesday dinner? That was tough love, she insisted. It made you succeed. It erased me, I said. I succeeded without you. They tried again the next day, emailing an investment proposal. I archived it unopened and blocked their emails. A week later, a courier brought an envelope in Mom's handwriting. Inside, a $100,000 check and a note for your college. Sorry. I held it for 10 minutes, steady. Then I shredded it, slicing until the numbers vanished. I wrote one line, forgiveness isn't for sale. I mailed the pieces back, certified, receipt filed. Dad showed up at the gate, khakis crisp, face practiced. The camera chimed. He looked smaller than I remembered. Leave, I said through the intercom firm. I just need 5 minutes, he said. I was wrong. I'm sorry. You had 26 years, I said. You wasted them. We're your parents, he pressed. Parents get access. Access is earned, I said. Not bought. Can't we move on, he pleaded, voice cracking. You can, I said. Without me. Forgive us, he said, breaking. I can, I said softly. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconnection. It doesn't mean access. He stared at the gate. It stayed shut. He left after 4 minutes. The camera went idle. I logged the visit, then watered the fields at dusk. Work outlasted memory. Boundaries outlasted work. I slept soundly. Morning came without fear. I forgave the past, but kept the door closed. Part 6. Earn peace and guarding the line. Harvest closed with steady revenue, no fluke. 6 figures, consistent. The fields sustained themselves this year. The farm paid for the farm. Workshops filled fast, no flyers needed. Teens asked eager, thoughtful questions. Start small, I said, smiling. Know your soil before your story. I taught pruning, drying, distilling. They recorded on battered phones. Chris stacked crates beside me, his humor soft. We checked fences at dusk, goats trailing like curious neighbors. I cooked simple meals and slept. Sleep felt like hard-earned calm. I kept my tech job part-time, balancing for now. The barn got safer wiring. The well house gained shelves. I updated autopay monthly. Taxes, insurance, payroll, all clear. Neighbors waved from dusty trucks. Market friends saved me a tent. Emma left for UC Davis, beaming. I held her summer hours. Tyler mastered the press, fixing a jam without a curse. I sent care packages to supporters, notes saying, thanks for being here. Block numbers stayed blocked. The gate code never changed. Some temptations faded with time. Others needed firm habits. When old thoughts crept in, I listed facts, orders, invoices, appraisals. Dr. Singh called it muscle memory. I called it breathing freely. At the fence, with the sun low over purple rose, I think of that Tuesday dinner, of names I no longer answer to. I hold the land. I hold my name. If you've chosen boundaries, you're not alone. Share how you've kept them strong.